The 5 unity principles are ideas that make up the belief system of unity. The principles are believed to nurture spiritual growth, abundance, and a fulfilled heart. The principles are essentially: 1, there is one presence and power through the universe, and the universal spirit is good. 2, our essence is of the spirit, therefore we are inherently good. 3, we are co-creators with spirit, therefore we create our reality through thoughts held in our minds. 4, through prayer, affirmation, and meditation, we can align our hearts and minds with the divine spirit. And 5, through thoughts, words, and actions, we can live the truth we know. The last principle especially captures that if we can live our lives using these principles as tools, then we can align to the spirit and we can create a more fulfilling and spiritual understanding.
I'll invite everyone to close their eyes as we move into our opening prayer. Divine Source, thank you for this wonderful time together. We arrive with open hearts, ready to receive all of the teachings this video has to offer. We know that there is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives. Thank you to each and every being that is here with us today, as we grow in consciousness and learn to shape our thoughts, words, and actions in order to embody and live the truth we know. Blessings, everyone.
The first unity principle states that God is active and present in everything, everywhere. This is shown to be true in nature, and every aspect of your life is applicable. Everything you see and hear and feel, God is present. Unity principle number 2 states that I am naturally good because God's divinity is within me and within everyone around me. Despite our conditioning to adhere to societal pressures, at our core, we are innately good, and we are influenced by our environment. Divinity naturally exists within everyone. Unity Principle 3 states that our thoughts have creative power. Not only can they determine events, they can also attract new experiences. This principle is inspired by the idea that what we think about is what we bring about. The fourth Unity Principle states that through affirmative prayer and meditation, we connect with God and bring out the good within our world.
Hello, my name is Caroline Shigas and I am from Unity of North Atlanta. I hope this video finds you well. I just want to let you know that today's video is all about Unity Principle 5, but it will also be a more wholesome review of all of the 5 Unity Principles. So if you have yet to see any of our videos, this is a great one to start with. So the first Unity Principle states that God is a divine power and presence that is active within everyone and everything, everywhere. And just to preface, I'm going to be using the word God, but that might not resonate with everyone. So if you'd like to interchange the word in your mind with a spirit or an energy, I also think of God as a life energy that is active within everyone. And so this energy means that everyone is naturally good, and that is the first principle. The second principle expands upon this concept by saying that because God is within everything, I am inherently good. And I have a divinity that flows within me. And the third Unity Principle sort of moves on to say that through my thoughts, I create my experiences. So your actions and your thoughts and your beliefs construct the world around you. And somewhat similarly, the fourth Unity Principle takes this concept and then adds it into the idea of prayer or meditation. So through positive, affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God, but I also create and I pray for myself in an affirmative light. So rather than the idea of praying from a deficit, which we refer to as like praying from a place of not darkness necessarily, because it's definitely healthy to meditate when you're in a dark place, but rather than using words to yourself such as I need or I want, or words that require taking something, give that positive energy out that you want to receive back into yourself. So I hope and I imagine myself thriving in the future, and specifying the experience and imagining yourself in a positive outcome. And then the fifth unity principle that sort of unifies all of the no pun intended, unifies all of the principles above it. The fifth unity principle is that you live the truth you know. I live the truth I know, which is all about implementing each principle daily, actively in my thoughts, in my words, and in my actions.
Now, you may remember that Unity was actually founded on prayer and affirmation. And the story goes that Myrtle Fillmore, one of the founders of Unity, was diagnosed with terminal tuberculosis. And especially in that time, tuberculosis was really a death sentence. But one day she attended a talk from this famous New Thought speaker, E.B. Weeks, and he told her, "You are a child of God, and therefore you do not inherit sickness." And she repeated that affirmation again and again, day and night, for a very long time. And eventually she cured herself of that tuberculosis just from affirming those divine ideas of health, divine ideas of pure divinity. She said, "I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness."
Good, that Paul Hasselbeck describes as, when we say that divine mind or oneness is all good, everywhere present, it does not mean that everything we see or experience in the relative world is good. It simply means that the good underlies everything as divine ideas and is ever available regardless of the situation. That specific quote really stuck with me because I think growing up in Unity, I often had people tell me, "Oh, it's all good. Everything is good around you. Everyone is good, and everyone has as good in them. Every situation is good." And that was really hard to wrap my mind around because I could think of so many instances, like historical events, where it almost felt impossible to see the good and even to see the humanity. But I really like the description that it doesn't mean that every situation and everything around you is good. It just means that underlying divine good is always available. And then it's followed up with, to remember that the source is truth and to decide to see only good and express only truth. And in every situation, these personal questions can be asked.
Eventually getting to the point where God is you. And sure, that's scary. And it's okay for that to be scary because we don't want to be alone. That's what's at the core of this. But the fact is, sometimes we are alone. No matter how much we try to relate to other people in conversation, find comfort in the commonalities that we find with our friends, we are alone. We really can only know of our own personal consciousness, our own personal feelings, our own personal presence. And we have to learn to live with that. And maybe it's easier to live with that if we find God in ourselves, rather than saying that we're part of some bigger web of people, because we're not necessarily part of some giant, intricate plan. Maybe it's just us in the center.
Fifth principle is walk your talk, or it's not enough to just know the principles. We must live them and do them and follow them. So this principle encourages us to actually put these actions into our daily lives, such as meditating every day, praying every day, thinking happy and positive thoughts, affirming your divine, affirming the universe. Hello, and welcome to our meditation. As we begin this meditation, I invite you to get comfortable. Whether you're sitting down, or laying down, or standing. As you get comfortable, I invite you to close your outer eyes and open your inner eyes. Now, I invite you to breathe in. Breathe in love and feel the love surround you and feel the peace surround you. Now, breathe out. As you exhale, get rid of the tension that surrounds you and surrounds your body and surrounds your mind. Breathe in one more time and relax your body. Feel the tension leave your body. Now breathe out. Feel your body completely relax. Now, as you breathe out, visualize what God looks like to you. Visualize what the Divine Spirit looks like to you. Is Spirit big? Or is Spirit small? Does Spirit have any defining features? Is Spirit a silhouette in front of you? Do you see Spirit next to you? Within you? Imagine you are this being. Imagine yourself as the Divine Spirit. Can you imagine yourself as a divine being? Can you separate yourself from your physical body? If you aren't able to imagine yourself as God or as a divine being, how do you see yourself connecting with this divine being? With God, with Spirit? Can you imagine Spirit hugging you? Or do you imagine yourself connecting in a different way? Maybe you walk alongside God. Maybe you talk to God. If you can imagine yourself as this divine being, how do you imagine yourself connecting to your own spirit? As we close out this meditation, just remember, even if you don't see yourself as a divine being yet, remember, Spirit is always with you. God is always with you. The divine being is always with you, within you, surrounding you, and loving you. Now do one last deep breath in. Breathe out. And come back to the space. As you come back to the space, keep reminding yourself that you are a divine being.
As we move into our closing prayer, we give thanks to the messages and the teachings that were received today. We give thanks for this time to come together and fill our cup with each individual's beautiful presence and energy. We carry into the week our wisdom that through shaping our thoughts, words, and actions, we can live our heaven on earth. And so it is. Amen. Blessings, everybody.